What is up, nerds? We're coming into a new series that I can't believe I let Jake talk me into. All of the 3D Zeldas, minus Skyward Sword, because A, I don't have it, and B, I don't hate myself. So that means we're going to be doing Ocarina, Majora, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and then eventually Breath of the Wild. We'll tackle that. Ocarina is definitely the one I'm the most familiar with. It's a mixed bag. Like Ocarina, I'm super familiar with. Wind Waker, I would say I'm like next most familiar with. Maybe Breath of the Wild in there as well. Breath of the Wild, this will be my second time through it. Wind Waker, I think it'll be my third. Ocarina, I couldn't even tell you. I've done this game like there was a point from like I don't know 21 through 25 where I was doing this game at least once a year. So I am excited to get back into it. It's been a couple of years since I've done it again. And this will be the first time I'm playing. So I'm playing all of Ocarina, Majora, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess will all be on the Wii U, and then of course Breath of the Wild will be on the Switch. So this will be the first time I'm tackling this game on the Wii U, and I'm excited to dig back into it. So let's do this thing. Gotta pick our name. Do I go with Jake's naming convention and do Daniel? I guess I have to. Ooh, am I gonna have enough letters? It's gonna be tight. Whew! Just made it. All right. Starting from the beginning, which means we get to sit through all of these goddamn unskippable cutscenes. But so this game, I call me basic, but this game is probably my favorite game of all time. Like, it hit me at that exact right age and that exact right point in my like gaming history where I was fully on board for everything this game was giving me. And is it perfect? Absolutely not. Are there things about it that irritate me even now? Sure. Probably more now than there were back then. But it was just, for me, it was like the first glimpse at like what games could be, you know, because like my previous exposure to games, and particularly Zelda, was Zelda 1, so my brother left behind his NES when he went to college, and like I played around with Zelda 1, but I didn't understand much of what was going on, and it's very much like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, I think, is a spiritual successor to Zelda 1 in that it doesn't give you anything. It just tells you, hey, here's this open world, everything is a possibility, nothing is closed off to you, so just go out there, whack walls, bomb shit, you know, do whatever you can do to get by, but it's not gonna like hold your hand and tell you go here, go here, go here. So I didn't really get very deep in Zelda 1 because I was 5. I just didn't have the ability to parse what it was the game wanted me to do. And so I kind of lost track of the Zelda series after that. And it wasn't until this came out in 98, so, you know, just over 20 years old, that I really dove headfirst back into the Zelda world. And it's my favorite game series now. Something about this game, it just like, it hit all those notes. And, you know, there's definitely certain things about it that I wish were handled differently, or, you know, obviously the water temple is not as bad as people try to claim it is. It's not great. It's definitely the weakest of all the temples, for sure, but it's not this like game ruining thing that people try to make it out to be. And these visuals here, I mean, like, again, you have to put yourself back in that 1997, 98 mindset of, this was incredible. Like, these 3D models, this semi-open world, like, all of this stuff seemed impossible before now. And, I mean, yeah, it's showing its age now, but it's over 20 years old, and it's influenced so many things that came after it that I still can't help but have affection for it. There we are, little baby Link. Excuse me, little baby Daniel. Great Great Deku Tree wants to talk to us. Well, let's fucking go. So when I was a kid, when I played this game for the first time, I was so A, bad at it, and B, like, didn't comprehend the possibility that a game could be so huge and so, like, expansive, that I was under the impression that this entire game was Young Link. Like, so when we beat Jabba Jabba's belly in a few hours and get that last stone to go grow up, I was like, my mind was blown, because I thought for sure that this was all there was. Because how could a game be this big? Here's our little green-haired friend, our little sage. See, okay, so I love this. All right, this is kind of a thing with Zelda games, just in general. The clues on how to beat a later boss just kind of tucked away, and you'll use this in. Is it? I'm trying to remember. I think it's Dodongo's Cavern, the second dungeon. You'll use this little drawing here as your, as your guide or your hint for how to beat the boss in there. I just love that little touch. Let's see what she has to say. Yeah, I got a fairy. Tell me in the comments how you pronounce this character's name, because I always thought it was Soraya, but I've heard people pronounce it as Saria or Saria, and like I don't know who's right. So what is the C stick? Okay, there we go. Like I said, playing this on Wii U for the first time, as problematic as the N64 controller is, it is what I learned to play this game on, so my muscle memory is going to take a while to really catch up here. I also, because I have been going back and playing around with Breath of the Wild a little bit, I find myself wanting to hit B to sprint, and that does nothing in this game. And eventually it'll be my sword, but like right now it does jack squat. No, I'm gonna keep hitting that button. I apologize. All right, let's go in here and try to find, I think the sword is in here. It has been a minute since I've played Ocarina. I was playing it on average, like I said, about once a year when I was in my mid-20s. But kind of fell off. Like, I haven't gone back to it in a little while. Oh, God. So this will be an interesting experiment to see how much of my muscle memory has faded in just that couple of years. Oh, God. Hit by a giant rock, no big deal. We're good. There we go. There's our sword. The Kokiri sword. Hidden treasure of the Kokiri, but you can borrow it for a while, aka the rest of the game, until you grow up. Alright. So, do I need to equip it in order to be able to use it, or is it just automatically equipped? I don't remember. I do need to equip it. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and save. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. So I know our next big thing is we need to get enough cash to get a shield. That's our next big objective. And I want to point out or make clear here too at the very top for all of these games that, like, my goal here is just to beat them. I don't have any intention of 100%ing any of these games or like getting every last secret, or we'll get them as they come up, but I just can't imagine I'm going to have the patience to dick around and find every last secret, because some of the, especially as we get into the later games, even as we get into Wind Waker, but especially once we get into like Twilight Princess and eventually Breath of the Wild, like those are massive games that we would be here for years trying to get all of this shit, and I'm just not gonna do that. So, all right, I know I need cash. I want to say that it's like, see, there we go again. I'm pressing B, trying to run, and don't do that in this game. So much of my muscle memory at this point is so tied into Breath of the Wild that it is going to take a lot of retraining of my brain. So I think the shield I want to say is like 40 rupees, I think. Oh, there we go. Cash money. So yeah, I can remember playing this game for the first time with like my cousins who are around my same age, and you know, us kind of bouncing ideas off each other back and forth about what all was involved with the game. I mean, there was a time, it wasn't a long period of time, but there was definitely a period of time where my cousins and I were convinced that the Deku Tree was the goal of the game. Like, we were gonna save the Deku Tree, and that was gonna be the whole game. We were wrong, but like many 10-year-olds, we knew nothing. Chop some grass here, see if we can get some cash. There we go. So up to 30. I wonder if it's 30. I think this over here is the shop. Let's go see. Let's go see what's in there. I don't wanna. Yeah. Hi. How are ya? It's great. This is one of the things I don't like about the early parts of the game here is how much just unskippable shit there is. And they make you watch the same cutscene, like, slightly altered, like 3 different times. And it's so annoying. What's up, my dude? Can I get... Oh, it is 40. Alright. So I need to do a little more rupee farming. What else we got in here? Deku seeds, arrows. Have no need for those for a while. Alright, so let's go out here. Let's get a few more rupees. We only need 10 more. I think I know where you can find some. There is a lot that I have forgotten about this game, but it's weird how much history I have with it that some of this stuff does feel like second nature, or it just becomes... Yeah, there's a blue rupee up here. I just have to remember how to get up there. Again, this is not Breath of the Wild. You can't just climb anything you want. Oh, hello. Blue rupee. Well, see, these older games, you gotta look for a vined wall. Back in my day, you needed a vined wall to... So let's talk about the camera. So the camera is, compared to newer games, utter dog shit. It's not as bad as its N64 compatriot, Mario 64, which I've been playing the 3D All-Stars collection on Switch, and holy shit, that camera is tragic. Like, that camera handles like a Buick. This one it's not good by modern standards, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be. By people, I mean Jake. Jake likes to pretend that Z-targeting and the camera in this game render it virtually unplayable. And I can't emphasize enough how wrong he is, because, you know, yes, it's a little annoying. Like, it's not as intuitive as modern cameras, but it's still, like, it centers around the back of the character, which is exactly what you want a camera to do. See, like, this stuff right here, like, this is not the camera's fault. I'm just bad at the game. Like, you can't blame the camera for that. Alright. And then we can... See, a modern camera would have just followed behind you. See, again, that's 100% on me. But a modern camera would have auto-corrected and, like, put it right behind you. But... you know, you gotta remember, this is 1998 we're looking at. You're in a time portal back to 1998. Good. Jesus. Okay. There's gotta be another rupee around here somewhere. Okay. 38. 2 more. I only need 2 more so I can go save the Deku Tree. And 40. Okay. Fuck that one blue one up there. Hey man, let me get a shield. No, I would not like to buy anything else because I ain't got no money. Okay, so now I think we've got everything we need. We can go talk to the Deku Tree. Talk to this asshole. Mr. No Fairy. God, you can't come up with a better insult than that? Yeah, I got a fairy, bitch. Move. Look, man, I don't know what to tell you, but can you move? Sword and shield, got them both. Yeah. What? My dude. Oh, I guess I do need to equip it. Okay, fine. I'll equip it. Here, you happy now? Character design on this dude's face is horrific. Alright. Let's go save the Deku Tree, boys and girls. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Oh, shit! Forgot we got dudes. Deku sticks, we'll need those. I think you gotta wait for him to... I'm gonna keep doing that. Why would they make the trigger, the Wii U menu, and the bumper the shield? Like, that's a terribly inconsistent. There's definitely a lot about this game, and you'll see this as we go along. There's a lot about this game that I will shamelessly defend, but there are other things, especially when you get into like this, it's being ported, so the controls get a little wonky. There's some things that are just not defensible about this game. Like, there's things that have not aged well, but still my favorite game of all time. Happy that we're starting with it. Servants of evil gain strength. Sounds a little too familiar, a little too real there, Deku Tree. Yeah. I got the courage. Let's fucking go. You spend a lot of time in the early part of this game in people's mouths. Like, you go into the tree's mouth here, you go into it's a statue's mouth technically, but it's still a mouth in the second dungeon, and then you go into a fish's mouth in the third one. Like, spend a lot of time inside of people's mouths. It's kind of weird. Alright, so off we go into the forest. Forbidden Woods, my dudes. Forbidden Woods. Just kidding. Inside the Deku Tree. Hi, bitch. There we go. That's what I wanted. Deku nuts. So let's equip some of this stuff. So we're gonna go Deku sticks on the right, Deku nuts on the down, and then once you get the slingshot goes on the left. Fight me if you disagree. Ah, see, I'm still in Breath of the Wild mode here. I'm trying to use the wrong buttons to swing my sword. That'll be an interesting thing to re-examine as we go along here, like how the controls evolve over time, because like Ocarina definitely influences most everything that comes after it. Like the Zelda games up until Ocarina had been one thing, like the top down, the 2D. This was obviously the first 3D Zelda, but they were all like either top down or, in the case of Zelda 2, like a side scrolling deal. Look at this wall. Yeah, thanks. Zelda 2 was more side-scrolly, but like Link to the Past, Zelda 1, you know, very much that top-down look to it. Even Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, all very top-down. And this opens it up into a 3D space that really changes things forever for Zelda. Like, until we went to the Link's Awakening remake in 2019, or was that 2018? No, 2019. Until we did that, like, you really didn't see Zelda deviate from this formula. Come here. Can't guarantee it will work. Well, I tried. Alright, so I'm thinking... Did we already get the map? We already got the map, so this should be the compass. It's crazy how fast you move through this dungeon, considering when I first... Oh no, you get the slingshot already. God damn. Considering when I was a kid, how, like, massive it felt, it's impressive how... Or it's not impressive, but just... It's shocking how small this dungeon feels now. Like, I think we'll probably easily blow through this today, and in the next one, like, we'll probably be Adult Link within 2 or 3 episodes. Like, it's not nearly as long as 10-year-old Daniel thought it was. Alright, so we need to equip our... Now we got some Deku Seeds, we got some ammo. Like I said, gotta set that up on the left. Yeah, we'll do a little save. Both because it's a good idea and because I keep mistakenly hitting B to get out of the menu. Alright. How do I get out of this room? I don't remember. Ah, that's right. You have to shoot down that ladder. Controls on the shooting are gonna be they're gonna take some getting used to, because again, my brain is still locked into Breath of the Wild mode, and I'm expecting that it's just gonna like tilt around with me, and it is not doing that. So shooting is gonna be a little clunky. All right, so now that we got the slingshot, we should be able to knock out these spider boys. Hey buddy, where you at? Can I Z-target you from here? I sure can. Wait, what did he give me? Oh, just those. I hear another one. Is there another one up there? There is. Got him. I got a whole 4 rupees. It's just like real life. Alright. Yeah. Like, when I played this as a kid, like 9, 10 years old, I want to say it took me upwards of 6 months to finally grow up. Like, to finally get to Adult Link. Like, part of that was the fact that I had a lot of trouble with Jabu Jabu's belly because it's kind of the water temple of Young Link. Like there's just lots of backtracking and lots of it holds your hand the least of all of these early dungeons, because like this dungeon is not difficult. It very much is like a hold your hand type of deal, which is fine. I mean, it's basically the tutorial area, so nobody should be surprised. All right, let's see what we're doing here, because I don't really remember. There we go. I know over here is something. Okay, well, it worked. Little gold Skulltula. There's another one. Is it Skulltula or Skulltula? Because as a kid, my cousins and I, it was always Skulltula, and now that I'm an adult and I can read, I see that it's spelled with a U instead of an E. So, have I been lied to my entire life, or am I just dumb? The comments will tell me. I know there is something involved with the fire that we have to like. Let's go over here first. So this must be the compass. I think the fire must be to open the door back up to get you out. All right. Hey, man. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let's light our fire. And light this torch. Gotta love these entry-level puzzles. Like, here, light this stick on fire, and then walk 3 feet and light another stick on fire. Game design. Okay. There we go, that's what I wanted. Is there any higher up I can go? No. So, I know part of the deal is you have to jump down with your stick here through the floor. What I don't remember is where you get the fire to do that. Might just be back in that room we just left. But will these guys try to... Come on. Show me your butt. There we go. Can I light my... Motherfucker. Can I light my stick? Light this. And then walk back out with my fire? Ooh, I can. Okay. Game changer. What I can't do is get past this spider grungalunga that fucking spawns. Ugh. Come on. There we go. Really? No heart? Can't get a heart? Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So I know that I need to jump down there with a flaming stick, but I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. I'm gonna try this again. Hey, light my stick, man. So he's back, so, and my thing just burned out. All right, so clearly I'm missing something here. It took 10-year-old Daniel 3 months to get through this. How long is it gonna take 30-year-old Daniel? All right, can I just jump? Let's just jump. There it is. See, it didn't even need to be on fire. hear another Skulltula. There he is. I think I have to raise the water level first before I can get over to him. Ah! Come on. Oh, there's one up there. Okay, good to know. Well, let's get you. So the gold Skulltulas, it still sounds weird to say. They're kind of the Korok seeds of this game. Like, they are the collectibles. Only difference is that there's not 900 of them. There's only, I think, 100. And much like the Korok seeds, you only really need, like, 50 to 70, maybe. Like, because you get certain things for using them. Or for collecting them, rather. But they're not, like... They're not absolutely essential. You could get by without them. And then later in the game, once you get the boomerang, and I think eventually with the hook shot as well, they're in kind of harder to reach places, and so you can use that to bring them towards you. Recovery heart here. Okay, so I know I need to go over there, but I don't. Or no. No. I know what we're doing. I know what we're doing. Coming over here, and we're burning this brother down. See, it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me. And now here's where... Ah! Did it again. There we go. Here's where we get our weird little, like, Michael Jordan inside joke. Which, I mean, I guess this was 97, 98. He was still very much a relevant thing at the time, but it still seems weird. So, you'll never beat my brothers up ahead unless you punish them in the proper order. The order is 2, 3, 1. 23 is number 1. Like, what a weird Michael Jordan reference in a Zelda game. Like, never understood that. Oh, then we gotta shoot our little eyeball switch. Come on. Very forgiving hitbox on that switch, thankfully. Okay. So there's going to be a switch underneath the water that we'll need to dive down and hit. That's going to lower the water level. Wrong. There we go. Alright, so that's going to bring the water level down, which allows us to... No! Bruh. Get up there. Are you serious? Okay, well, we might have to do this again. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna try that again. I thought you could get up on the platform while you're in the water. Clearly, I was wrong. So we're gonna dive down, we're gonna hit that again. And then we're going to jump back. Get the camera. Take our time with this. We don't need to rush. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Knock you out of the way. So now we're gonna pull this block. Yeah, I got it. Pay attention to what the action icon says. Said no one who has ever played this game ever. Everyone always bitches about, like, not doing what it is you intended to do. Yet no one ever pays attention to what the action icon is saying to do. Oopsies. Someone say gamers aren't self-reflective. Wasn't me. Alright. So is this our... No. This is not the 23 room. But we're close, I think. Very close. Is there more? Or is it just you guys? No, no. I hear you. I don't see you, but I hear you. There you go. So much of this game, too, is very dark. It's a very dark game. Not in tone, but it's just dark. Like, visually, there's just not a lot of light. But, alright, so we've lit these. Now we're going to head into here. In here, I think, is the 23 is number 1 puzzle, air quotes. Come on. There we go. So got that one taken care of. I know one of the things we're supposed to do is burn this. So then this is an interesting little wrinkle here. Behind this enemy... whoa, I forgot about y'all. Weird grungalunga spider things come down from the ceiling. Not my favorite. Ah! There's more of you. Come on now. Nobody likes that guy. Don't be that guy. So behind that enemy, behind that wall we just burned down, this is a bombable wall. But what's weird about that is that you don't get bombs until the next dungeon when you are, like, long gone from this area. So I don't understand. And as I recall, there's nothing really that significant behind that wall. Like, it's not something that, like, oh, you must backtrack in order to get this and progress in the game. Like, you don't need whatever's behind that wall. I don't even remember what it is, but it's nothing, like, super important. So it just creates this really strange backtracking thing where if you wanted to, you could come back here and do this, but I don't know why you would. Very, very strange. And it's one of those things that I didn't even notice until, like, probably my 5th or 6th time playing through the game. Like, oh yeah, there's a bombable wall in here. Why? Don't know. Alright, come on. Action button. There we go. Enter. So this puts us out in here. Ah! My dude. Camera fucked me on that one. Am I just getting bodied? Yeah, because I'm using the wrong button for my shield. Thanks, Breath of the Wild. Ugh. You hate to see it. So now, please enjoy the sweet summer sounds of the low health alert. Alright, so I know push this down and then I can kind of move around and go down there and get some health so we can stop listening to this fucking incessant beeping. That was one thing I liked, like an improvement in Breath of the Wild that I liked, was that when you get to low health, it beeps at you like once and then it's done. Like, it doesn't do it again. Very, very nice added feature there. Bruh, I do not need more seeds. I need hearts. Oh my god. Ugh. The indignity. The indignity of dying in the fucking Deku tree. It's fine. I'm not mad about it. It's just, it is what it is. It's just like, okay. So now it puts me back here, but I should be able to jump right down here, and nothing of value was lost. Alright, so I know I need to go over here, get a little bit of fire going on, fix my camera, and then we're going to do a little roll attack here. Oh, burn this. we go. Alright, here's where the 23 is number 1 puzzle comes in. Come on. 2. Come on. Boom. Broke your magical code. Both because your brother ratted you out and because it's not that hard to begin with. Just saying. Queen Goma. So we're getting close to the boss here. We are almost through the Deku Tree. So depending on how quickly we get through this, like, we'll definitely cut it off after just this one dungeon, but we might leave the forest and at least check out Hyrule, depending on how quickly I get through the Queen Goma. So I know we're getting close. It might even be inside this next room. Yeah, okay. This is the boss. Queen Goma. Who is essentially like a bigger version of those Grungalunga spiders that we fought a little earlier. The ones that drop down from the ceiling. She is basically just a giant version of that. No, look up. Look up, my dude. There we go. Ah, shit. I think you just walk out here in the middle somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe you have to shoot her. There we go. Parasitic Armored Arachnid, Queen Goma. You'll love to see it. Alright, so we stun her with the slingshot, and then just whack the fuck out of her once she's stunned. So I think she's gonna go up there and she's gonna poop some babies. If you don't shoot her. Look at that! Boom! Alright, first boss down. Love to see it. Do I get my heart piece? There it is, or my heart container. So now we're up a heart. Now we're gonna go back outside and watch the Deku Tree die, gang. Little positive vibes for your Tuesday morning or whenever the fuck I decide to upload this. Deku Tree talks like a LARPer. I'm just gonna say it. I knew that thou wouldst be able to carry out my wishes. Oh yeah, I think we get another unskippable cutscene here. Wicked Man of the Desert. Little Ganondorf. It is a good cutscene. I just wish they didn't make you watch it like 3 different times from like 3 different angles. Like, because you watch it once from like Zelda's point of view, and then you watch it again from Ganondorf's point of view, and like it's too much. Like, I only need to see it the one time. The Triforce. Which that was another like urban legend thing when I was a kid, that like the Triforce was an item that you could discover in this game, like that you could obtain. It was not true. So it's Din, Furore, and Nehru are your 3 like gods in this game, and they make up the 3 pieces of the Triforce. Courage, wisdom, and knowledge, maybe, I think is the other one. So Ganondorf wants to possess the Triforce to make him all powerful. He ends up having one of the pieces. Zelda has the second piece, and then you end up with the third. But his goal is to unite them so that he can control all of Hyrule. And your job is to stop him. And so basically, like, the gods here, like, they like sprinkle out their little fairy dust out over the world, and it gives everything its color and its light and its happiness. And then once Ganondorf possesses one of the pieces of the Triforce, he disrupts all of that. And so you'll see as we go through here, once we get out into Hyrule, that everything looks mostly fine. There's this kind of this pall hanging over everybody. They're concerned about Ganondorf because he hasn't attempted to take power yet. He's still part of like the queen or the king's court, I guess. And so like people are like kind of suspicious of him, but he hasn't done anything yet. By the time you grow up, he has fully attempted to like take power, and the world is like almost destroyed. So you'll see a stark difference in how things look once we get to adult Link. Yeah, because he's trying to get these, in this early part of the game, he's trying to get his hands on these 3 stones too, the forest, fire and water stones, so that he can open the Temple of Time and get into the Sacred Realm. But we're gonna try to stop him. So he's gonna give us his green stone here. This is one of 3 that we're going to collect as young Link. Look at the textures on that emerald. That's a ray tracing emerald. Future depends upon me? Ooh. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Oh, be speaking slower. Think the tree's about to die. So yeah, so the Deku Tree has died, and then he basically just sits there for the rest of the game. Like I said, you could backtrack if you wanted to, and go back in there and bomb that wall, but you're entering a dead tree at that point. It's kind of gross. Alright, so we have beaten the dungeon, the first dungeon. And I know we need to get out into Hyrule Field, but I can't remember if we can go out the direct way or if we need to go through the Lost Woods first. Let's go this way and see what happens. Okay, yeah. So we can get out through here. So, like we mentioned earlier, Saria, however you choose to pronounce her name. She's like your forest buddy as a kid, because you're kind of an outcast, if you couldn't tell, as a kid, because you grow up without a fairy. And the Kokiri children, like the Kokiri, they're forever children. They're like Peter Pan, like they're forever children. So the fact that you can grow up signals that you are not a Kokiri. But Saria here, she she's going to end up being the sage of the forest, which is we'll learn about the sages in a few episodes. So she grows up as well, I think. Maybe not. She actually no, she doesn't. I don't think. But she's going to end up being the sage of the forest. So we're gonna do more stuff with her once we grow up and become an adult, and we'll tackle the forest temple. So she's just given us the Ocarina. This is the Kokiri, the young Link Ocarina. You do get the Ocarina of Time, hence the title of the game. You get that at the end of all these young adult or young Link dungeons. So we got 2 more dungeons to knock out, and then we will be able to open up the Temple of Time and age up. Alright, so now we are coming out into Hyrule Field. This is kind of your hub world for the game. You can head back to the forest through here. You can go, you can see Death Mountain up there, the kind of volcano looking place. You can go to the castle. The castle is going to be the first place we're going to go, because we need to sneak in. We get to meet our owl friend here first. Time has finally come for you to start your adventure. So it's implied too that the owl here is also a sage. He has a human form where he can morph into the light sage, which there is no light temple in this game. You do get the light medallion, I think they're called, later on, but it's just kind of a token medallion. You end up using the light song, the Prelude of Light. You end up using that as kind of your warp thing to get back to the Temple of Time, because there is a little bit of back and forth backtracking when it comes to once you're an adult Link. Like there's certain things that you have to backtrack to adult or to young Link to do. Like the Spirit Temple, for example, is like kind of half and half. You have to do half of it as young Link, and then the other half as adult Link. Just, it's a creative mechanic, I think. It's especially at the point in the game where that comes up, it's a pretty it's a refreshing change of pace at that point. But yeah, so this is Hyrule Field, and again, keep in mind that you're putting yourself in that 1998 headspace. Think of how cool this must have been to see for the first time. Like, and this would represent 1/10 of 1% of what you'd eventually be able to do in Breath of the Wild. Oh god, can I get to the gate before it's gonna close? I don't think I can. Run! Churn those little legs. No, damn it. Okay. So that's one thing that does kind of suck, is that once you're out here, I mean, the day-night cycles I think are only about like 4 to 5 minutes. So it's not a huge problem, but it is a problem. Especially right now, because we need to get into the castle. Let's see what she wants. Great Deku Tree. Yeah, my dude, I'm trying. It's dark. They closed the gate. Oh my god, get these dudes off my back. Alright. So we're basically just like killing time at this point until we can get into the castle or get into Hyrule Market. But we can walk around a little bit, and so over that little ridge there you can see the lights from, that is Lon Lon Ranch. That's where we're eventually going to get our horse, Epona. Over there you can see in silhouette Death Mountain. See, it's already, sun's already coming up. Death Mountain we will eventually go to. That's where the Fire Temple is. That's also where our second dungeon is on the road to Death Mountain. So we will be going there pretty soon, probably in the next episode. And Now the gate is open, so we can head on into Hyrule Market. Figure out what we're doing from there. Alright, so then we switch to this weird top-down view for the entrance to Hyrule Market here. I always thought this was kind of strange. But there's this little side room here that is just chock full of pots that you can break, and this dude in the corner could not give less of a shit. He is making minimum Hyrule bucks and could not give a fuck. Oh, I forgot there's a spider in there. Get just okay. So I know somewhere in here is. I need money because eventually I'm going to have to get a Hylian shield because we're going to be heading into Dodongo's Cavern, which is up on Death Mountain, which is a fire-based dungeon. And as you might expect, our wood shield does not do very well in a fire-based dungeon. So we need to get enough money to buy a Hylian shield. And I think they're 90 rupees if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong about that. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of rupee farming to make that happen. Ah, this inverted y-axis is just not my jam. Oh, come on. Like, say what you will about the gyroscope, but it did wonders for aiming things. Alright. So this is Hyrule Market, and there's all sorts of fun stuff in here that we will explore throughout the course of the game. And this is one of those areas, like I was talking about earlier, that is starkly different when you're a child versus when you're an adult. You know, when you're an adult, all of this is just ravaged. Like, it's just destroyed. And mostly abandoned. Like, the only thing that's really in here is some bad guys, some enemies. So this over here is going to be the Happy Mask Shop, where you'll do like a trading game to trade up with things. We might do that. We'll see. Potion shop over here. Back over here, that little church-looking place. That is the Temple of Time. That is where we are eventually going to age up, get the Master Sword. I think this is the bazaar. This is where you can buy things. Like that Hylian shield. Let's see how much that is. Oops. 80 rupees. Okay, so we're not that far off. So we'll come back and get that once we've gotten. I think we are going to get some cash here as we try to run into the castle. No. There's all sorts of, like, there's not really, like, I mean, yes, there are side quests in this game, but a lot of that stuff, and that's Malon, I think is her name, from she's from Lon Lon Ranch. There's our owl friend, he's back. So I think we're coming up close to an hour. I think we'll give this a shot to get into the castle, and then, because that'll be a good stopping place. If we get in there and we can do that fairly quickly, then I think we'll call it for today. No, I do not want to. Don't default to the yes, I want to hear what you said again. That's just a dick move. Okay. See, you always want to check. You never know what you might run into. That was one of the things that I did miss in Breath of the Wild, was the rolling mechanic. Oh, the little bug guys. So eventually you'll get bottles where you can you can get into those, or you can capture those and use them for certain things. I know there's. Oops. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I know there's a vine, right? So the key here is you're trying to get into the castle without alerting the guards. So we're gonna climb up this very low-res texture of a vine. Here's these little clock things they're just kind of funny. You smack them and they tell you what the time is. Okay, like it doesn't really mean that much. So yeah, the key here, like I said, is we're behind the gate now, which is good. But we can see we've got boyos up there. And as I recall, they've got a pretty extensive like visual range. So they can see you from pretty far away, but you do have to sort of be like right in front of them. So you can see how I kind of like threaded the needle to get between those two. So I think over here, I think I need to, yeah, he's pointed that way, so I need to go up this wall here. There's another clock thing. Later on when you get bombs, you can bomb those and they'll take off like a rocket. Like, I'm not really sure exactly what their intended purpose is supposed to be. Alright, so we've dropped down into the moat here. And there's an entrance on this side that we're trying to get to. And I think this does become a little bit easier once you're... so then we have this guy. This is another guy from Lon Lon Ranch. This is the girl we saw in the market, Malon. This is her father. Oh, I think I think I fucked up. I think I was supposed to talk to her, and she was gonna give me a chicken that I was then gonna use to wake him up. Okay, well, in that case, then we're gonna call it here. This has been the first episode of all the 3D Zeldas all the way through. We are gonna make sure we save, because Lord knows I don't want to do any of that bullshit again. Next time we are gonna go get this chicken from Malon, come back and wake her dad up, and then he'll move, and then we can get into the castle, sneak through all the guards and stuff, and meet the princess, Princess Zelda. Contrary to popular belief, my name not Zelda. So we're gonna get into the castle, meet Zelda. She's gonna we're gonna watch that same fucking cutscene again, but just from a slightly different angle. And once we get done with that, then we're going to go up Death Mountain, and we are going to make our way to Dodongo's Cavern, the second of the 3 Young Link dungeons. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you are ready for what could end up being a year's worth of content, because good God, some of these games are massive. But I'm excited about it. Some of these, like I said, I'm going to be experiencing in full for the first time, like Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess. I'm going to be hopefully beating those for the first time, so I'm very excited for that. So yeah, you subscribe on all the bullshit up at the top. You know the deal. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.